Hello everybody, it's January 29th, 2024. It's been a while since my last update, but really just been waiting for everything to play out. So I said at the time, we were hopefully looking for that pullback I was talking about in B of 3 to hit, 30 to 36 before pushing upwards. That didn't happen, but I said here in the note, if Bitcoin continues upwards without hitting that area, it's just continuing to extend A, and we still need to see a substantial B correction downwards later, and that's what we've seen now. So I want to look at where we are basically, where we were then, where we are now. That was December 11th. Let me just circle that on the chart. That was all the way back here. Okay, so I was doing the video right about here. I was hoping for that B wave pullback down into this zone right here. But what happened instead, as you can see, is this very choppy move leading up to the ETF approvals, and then the substantial pullback. That's the substantial pullback that I have been waiting for right there. I've been talking about a 20 to 40% pullback, and right there we got 21.25% pullback right there. Okay, so the question is now, is that pullback done, or is there more to go? Up until really today, I was assuming that we were going to continue downwards again, meaning this was an A wave, this being a B wave, and then seeing one more wave down for a C. That was my assumption, my working assumption, when it looked like we just had 3 waves up. I wasn't trading on this assumption, but this, at the time looked like maybe an ABC right there, and then we could move down. Okay. However, as of just like an hour or two ago, we actually have a pretty decent 5-wave structure here. And even if you zoom in a little bit more, you can even see 5 waves within each of these waves, except for this first one. Although the first one could be considered a diagonal. We might have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just an overlapping diagonal. But here, for instance, in this wave 3, we've got a little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then here in this wave 5, we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up and 5. So that is compelling evidence that the bottom might already be in. Now, that being said, we should see a pullback, and the pullback that we see should be corrective, meaning now, after hitting this area here, if we get a pullback, right, it could continue upwards, but if we get the pullback, we should see something corrective looking that comes down into the area of the 382 to 618 fib. So I'm going to put a little box on here, show you where that is. Right there is our green box for blue scenario, looking for something like this, A, B, C, down somewhere into this box. That's what blue scenario needs to have happen. Let me just match that up there, the degrees. Okay, so that would serve then as our initial 1, 2 for the next leg up. So let me zoom out a little bit and show you where we are, I believe, in the pattern. I'll leave yellow on here for now, but this could be making an A, B, C, arguably. It doesn't really look like it. Sorry, before I move on to the bigger picture, let me just talk about where I think we are here. This move, I said, is very choppy. That's 3 waves. So to me, I was actually right with this being the end of our wave A. However, we just got a sideways expanding flat correction rather than the deep pullback. So normally, I would have liked to see this A, B, C, like I said. However, this is still an A, BC. It's just an expanding flat correction, which kind of goes outwards in a megaphone pattern. And that is perfectly valid, certainly valid. So I'm actually going to, let me just kind of move these labels. I'm going to say that's A, we're going to say that's B, and we're going to say that is potentially the end of C. Let me put this in blue just because that sort of is what we're looking most likely at. I'm going to delete this yellow for now. There we go. And I'm going to say that's the end of B there. Okay, so I've got it in blue scenario, but yellow B. I'll change this to yellow if it all plays out the way I think it's going to, where we come back down into this area and then truck upwards. Okay, I'll change it to yellow, but for now, just know that if it does something like this and then dies, that we're basically just resetting this B over here instead, and that is a possibility. However, the way that it looks right now, it does look more like it's ready to go up to me at the moment. So anyway, that's how I would count that. So, you know, I like being right, and even if it's just sort of academically right, I was right about A wave ending back there, if this is in fact our A, B, and C there for wave B. All right, so zooming out, we are within this diagonal structure for Bitcoin's bull run here, which is really not ideal. I've talked about it over and over and over again, and really this red box here, this is the danger zone. We're right in the danger zone for this to be like the bear scenario, wave 2. However, with the halving coming up, and with this structure that we're seeing now, you know, I give the benefit of the doubt to the bulls until we see a pretty significant break down. I have to give the benefit of the doubt to the bulls. But we are, just keep in mind, we are in sort of a problematic structure here. All right, so we are working on this wave 3, potentially in a diagonal in the bull case. So in a diagonal, you have 3 wave moves. So let me get rid of my drawings here for a second. So this is the end of wave 1. You can see we have a wave here, there's A wave down, there's B, a wave up, there's C. That is only 3 waves. Okay, usually that's a corrective structure. Usually it means you're going to die. Since we didn't die, I am assuming that, you know, and the fundamentals, I'm assuming that we are going up, right? So there's wave 1, then we have A, B, C sideways for wave 2, and now we're working on a wave 3, again, if this is bullish, we're working on wave 3. We really just have 1 wave up. So this is A, here's our B, or if this drops more, we've got B further down. Either one is fine. So we've got A, B, or B, and then we need to move up for C, and that's C of 3. So I'm going to put my drawings back on so you can see that I have that labeled. A, here's that yellow B, and here is yellow C of 3. So the question is, if we have a bottom in place, where's the target for C of 3? And now that we have potentially our wave B, we can finally sort of answer that question. So we're going to go from the bottom here of wave 2. We're going to go to wave A. I'm saying that's the top of A, not this, but this, and that's important. We're going to say that's the top of A right there. It's important for our target. And there's the bottom of wave B. Okay, and again, reminder, if this comes down lower, we'll simply lower that fib down. Okay, and that'll be B. Let me make this a different color here real quick just so I can see a little bit better. All right, so our target area, ideal target area for this is really, I mean, the 618 is sort of like the shortest it could possibly be at 55K, but realistically in this, I would really like to see it stretch up at a minimum to the 764. Even better is the 1-0 extension, right? You often see C equaling the length of A, and that would get us up all the way to 69K, which is the old all-time high, and would make sense then at that point for, is locked? Yeah. It would make sense for a pullback to appear at that point potentially, or you know, maybe a quick spike up. Maybe we get up into the 70s just to, you know, take out stop losses, and then we get a move down for wave 4 or sideways. I mean, we've been getting sideways, right? So wave 2 is very choppy sideways. Wave 4, this wave B of 3 has been very choppy sideways. So we may just get choppy sideways, but in any case, you know, chopping around that sort of 50 to 70K area for quite a while would make quite a bit of sense. And then we'd finally get our wave 5 up. And at this point, my macro wave 5 target is up here, right about 125K at a minimum. And so that's kind of where I assume we're going. I think we're just making a leading, or an ending diagonal rather, into this target area. So, you know, we're probably going to see maybe 70-ish here for wave 3. Maybe we go sideways for 4, and then we do some choppy action. Again, it's going to be an ABC, and this, it's going to be like this to get up finally to maybe 125. Maybe it kind of goes a little overboard. A lot of times it does that at the end. You know, it gets like a big spike up, and then we'll see a big crash after that. But somewhere 125K plus is the target here if we continue bullishly. So I think once we get up to the old all-time high or near it, we can finally put this bear scenario to rest. But until that point, we unfortunately do still need to pay attention to it a little bit and just keep it in mind. Once again, I am, you know, giving the benefit of the doubt to the bulls. But you know, if we see some significant dropping here, and I'm struggling to find out what that realistically would be. This yellow right now is just a place marker, so I can't really use that, but it would worry me if it dropped below that level. There's not really much else in the way of levels that we can say, you know, below this level it would invalidate. The only thing we can really do is the 886, which is right about 27K. So essentially this has some room as long as it's above 27, even if, you know, it wants to drop again. It could, and then still continue upwards. So unfortunately at this point in time, that's the best that I can do. Now, assuming we get our next leg up here, like this, at that point, we're going to have a much better idea because I'll be able to take this and actually tag it to wherever that wave 3 tops out. And then we're going to have a really nice channel to use as our invalidation point where, you know, if it hits that, but then it drops through, then it's like, oh crap, you know, the bullish impulse or the bullish diagonal is dead at that point. All right, so I hope that makes sense. Let me just go to just a different Bitcoin chart here real quick. Just to talk about, oops, I've been using that chart too. Hang on there. There, I just want an empty chart. All right. So just want to talk about this potential, you know, bear scenario basically, because I've talked about it before, but I want to show on a clean chart. This is my worry. Okay, that we have 5 waves down here, like that, and that at this point in time, we really just do have A, B, C. We've just got 3 waves up, right? That's the worry. Okay, and we are in this area, we're below the 886. So above 58.6, this kind of goes out the window. But as of right now, you know, hitting the 764, that's a valid wave 2. This could be wave 1. This can be wave 2. This can die. And if it does die, it's going sub 10K. In fact, you know, just devil's advocate here, let's say the top is already in. We can actually give you a target for down below if this is going to die, which again, low time frame action is not telling me that's the case, but if it does die, we're going to be looking at this area at an absolute minimum, 15.7 down to 7.8K, with about 11K being the target. And this would be, in the bear case, the best case scenario, this could be an A, B, C before we see further upside, right? Or worst case scenario, this would actually be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that leads us down to 2,500. Okay, so we don't know, you know, if this does die, we don't know which one of those is going to play out. And so that's, you know, very worrying, of course, until we get back sort of above that 60K level. Once we get above that 60K level, as I said, then we can start being a little bit more comfortable with the fact that, okay, even though it's not an ideal pattern, you know, that we can be more comfortable anyway that it is bullish, like that we're in this bullish diagonal. All right, so I think that's pretty much all I've got to say. We're going to look and see if we get this nice ABC down into this 40.3 to 41.7 area. Assuming we do, then we are looking upwards into the 60. Looks like 60 to 78, 60 to 79 even, as our target above for the end of this wave 3. All right, everybody, you have an excellent day, excellent rest of the week, excellent whatever, however many weeks it is till I do another video. You know, I kind of laid out all of our possibilities right then, and I'll do another video when there's something further to say. All right, everybody, have a good one.